have I been, you may ask yourselves? Well, unfortunately, I wasn't at the Chestnut Woodturning Weekender, although I was a grateful recipient of a lovely travel mug from Terry. Thank you. And exciting news. There's a Weekender 5 happening back at Springfield Centre in Spalding next August. I've already bought my ticket. Have you? Hello! Yes, it's a video. Maybe for this month. Or this quarter even. New glasses. Height of Italian fashion after my recent holiday there, when I lost my glasses on a cable car. I have a little demonstration to do today on a new product what I have bought. Are you interested in getting into airbrushing but think even £100 is too much to splash out to see if you like it? Well, what if you only spent £35 and got an airbrush and a compressor? How good could that be? Let's find out. So this is it. This is a little compressor that I bought from eBay. It has pressure control, if you can call it that, with this little switch here, which is got very little movement on it. Airline goes on there. It comes with an airline, so let's screw that on. And it also comes with an airbrush, a simple gravity-fed airbrush. Not 100% certain on the needle size, but it is a dual action one. You need to take this fitment off the end and then it just screws directly onto the airline. But even for £35 you get a moisture trap, so this will stop water from the compressed air fouling your paint up. So that goes on between the airline and the air gun. So that screws in there. It does not feel like this is made of metal, so be careful not to over tighten it and strip the threads out. There should be a little O-ring in there which will make the seal, and then that gets screwed onto the bottom there. And then in use, this chamber here will fill up with it'll collect water, and when it's under pressure you can press this valve up and it will expel that moisture out from the trap. It even has a little airbrush rest so that you can rest your airbrush in there. And of course it needs a bit of power. Just comes with one of these little power leads. Connect that up and plug it in, and there it is. You have an airbrush set up. Turn it on. So it runs, goes on and off, which would suggest there's perhaps a bit of a leak somewhere, or that I've got this valve a little bit open. Right. Tighten up a bit more. The tighter it is, it seems, the more pressure you get from the airbrush. It's a slightly irritating noise, but it does create a reasonable pressure. It's not the same pressure you're going to get from one of the airbrush compressors, which are my preferred ones, of course. Lots of different makes of these, but this is what I use in my workshop. It's what I use when I go to club demos. So why, you may be asking yourselves, why has he bought another one? Well, I'm off to Spain via Portugal for a family visit soon, and I'm going to Spain to take part in the Encontro de Tornos there. Pronunciation probably awful. Really looking forward to that, and I'd like to be able to take an airbrush with me. I did ask the last time I was at Gatwick Airport, EasyJet staff, oh, here's a picture of a compressor. Do you think I could take this with me in my hold luggage? Oh, yeah, not sure. Yeah, probably. Well, probably versus losing 80 quid or so, not really that interested. Against 35 quid, and it's a lot lighter, I thought it might be worth it. But is it any good? I'm going to use the airbrush that it came with to give it a try. And let you know what I think about it. So I've got a bit of beach on there. It's been turned relatively smooth. It's not been sanded, but I just want to see how this airbrush works. So let's get kitted up with some safety gear and get some colours ready. Well, purple came out first, so let's have a go with purple, and then I'll get a little stencil. No, I'm going to get a template out to give it a put it through its paces. So in here I've got a few things I can use. This is the one I want. We'll see how it copes with just spraying round a little bit of cardboard. So let's see, this will probably give the best view if this camera is behaving. It is. Now I need to do a little preparation. I'm going to be needing to clean the airbrush out, so let's have the cleaning jar ready. And a water bottle ready just to flush it out, and on hand as well some meths and some airbrush cleaner. Right, gonna get some colour in first. So a bit of purple, a few little drops of that, seal the end up. Now, like I often do, I'm going to use the middle here just to see how this is coming out. It's dual action, so there you go. Air, no colour. Pull back the trigger, out comes the colour. Quite controlled. A reasonably fine line. Interestingly, it says in the instructions that this compressor should be used with a single action airbrush, i.e. press down, you get air and paint coming out at the same time. I can't see why that would be necessary, especially as they provide a dual action airbrush with it. Something a bit awry there. Right, so let's try it out for real. We just had some fun in the middle there. Let's just spray around a few of these templates I've got here. Let's see how that behaves itself. They're not brilliantly cut, these templates, unfortunately, but they'll give us an idea. And it seems to cope fine. Remember, these are just stained straight from the bottle. They are very thin. It's not quite the same perhaps as spraying out paint. Whether it will cope with that. And I've run out of colour. Let's put some more in. Got to put some more on, haven't I, Roger? If you want to get into airbrushing and you don't want an expensive outlay of equipment, this could be the way. I wonder if this will just stay as one colour. Then I won't have to clean the airbrush out. Maybe I should do this as a live premiere video, and you can put in the comments whether you think it's going to stay as one colour over the piece of wood or not. Might bring a bit of excitement into our for a Sunday evening or a Saturday whenever I put this up. A little bit of splatter there. Reminds me of the kind of colouring I did as a kid. Just sort of swirls, at least circles, and then you'd come in and colour in those middle bits, or poke them with a stain covered finger and ruin it. A bit there, I think. A bit there. Run another line across there. Now you can see that last one got a little bit of a skip in it. That's my cutting out skills. Nothing to do with the airbrush. Just not very good at cutting continuous curves with a pair of scissors. Do I need a laser cutter? Probably not. Will I get one? Probably not. There we are, just about out of stain. Well, I think I'm going to stick with the purple. I quite like these bits here where I've got a bit darker, making it a bit more dramatic. I might just do a little bit of balancing that out, as it's only in one area at the moment. And the way to build that darker colour up is to just run another couple of layers over it. Don't just press harder and hold the airbrush in that position, because it will more than likely cause a run. So I'm going for something darker around the edge here, just to make a bit more drama. What I might say, I'm not being very scientific about it, is it possibly uses a bit more colour than the finer airbrushes. I better check out the needle size, hadn't I? But this has got more chance of staying as one colour with that variation that's going on there. Is it balanced? How can you get a feeling for something being balanced when there's all this swirling going on in it? And with one colour, that you're losing that fun at home, aren't you? Sitting there saying, "Stop, Stuart, that's enough. Don't do any more." I think that probably is enough. That looks a tiny bit bare to me. And when I say this is taking a bit more colour, I mean it's only 10 drops or so of stain each time. Let's get something in there. Something there. Right, and then let's see how this coats with putting a feathered edge on. Oh, got to turn the lathe on at the plug. What speed are we on? That'll probably do. I've got enough colour in there, I think so. I am trying to ruin it for you. Not really. Let's do a little bit in the middle there. Rather than run out halfway through, let's put a little squirt in. There we go. A one colour piece of colouring. I don't know if we ever thought that would happen. I can't believe I've put everything aside and putting away the stain. But that does seem to be what's happening. Although I've got a bit of green here. So part 2 of the demonstration with this new bit of kit. It's all very well. Yes, I've got this airbrush. That seems to work very well. I will need to clean it out, which I will do now. But I will want to see if this works with the airbrushes that I've got. With just being able to change the colours each time. Let's just, oh, managed to put water over it. Never mind. Bit of backwashing. Tip that out. Bit of cleaning through the needle. Bit more backwashing. Wipe the stain off from there. Tip it out. Tip it out. Blast some colour. Water through. See how quickly it's emptying. You can see that going down. Now the compressor is not one you can run for more than about 30 minutes, it says, and I wouldn't run it continuously like I'm doing here. Really, it's only used in very short bursts. We'll see if that's coming out clean or whether I need to put some meths in there. So see if it's coming out clean. A bit of white cloth or paper towel. Yeah, that's clean. That's just clean water coming through. Right, that'll do. Right, so what I want to do now is hook it up to my other airbrushes. And for that I'm going to swap airlines, because all of these airbrushes have a quick connector on them, which is not part of the kit for this £35 outlay. So here we go. Here's my quick connector lead. Just screw that on. And you'll see I've managed to muck up the front of this with a little accident with the water nozzle of this bottle. It's ruined it. Right, let's turn that on. That's good. That should shut off as it has just done because of the valve. Right, so does this work with my other airbrushes? It does. It doesn't have quite the same power that I'm used to having. So let's get the stencil back and let's ruin this. So it is coming out. I mean, these are not well maintained airbrushes, I have to admit that. They could probably do with a good clean. It's coming out reasonably well. Time to be a little bit more patient. There's some water on the surface there. And that spillage. I think the green and the purple work nicely together. They are a colour combo. You can find a number of arenas, Wimbledon colours, I believe. Also the suffragette movement. I think the green is making it a bit of a bolder bit of decoration. But the compressor doesn't have the oomph that the ones I generally use have, which is not surprising, but for maybe for travel purposes, air travel purposes, it's going to be just the thing I need. We should have to see. Shame about all of that water damage there. Don't know how well I can disguise it. Not very. And because I've now turned my stencil over, it's transferred all those horrible marks. Right. Verdict time. Let's put that the right way round. It works. Doesn't have the same oomph as the dedicated compressor. But if you're interested in having a go and you want to do it cheaply, could you go wrong with this bit of kit? I guess it depends on your budget, really, doesn't it? If you want to get into airbrushing, £35 just to have a go, well, what's that? That's a meal for two at a pub, or 1.5 people at a pub. Gastropub, maybe one person, maybe not even one person at a gastropub in Brighton. So, final verdict: is it worth getting? Probably yes. Although the step up from here with an airbrush and one of these compressors in terms of price is probably, the difference is about £50. And unless you're getting on an aeroplane, you probably don't need a little compressor like this, but it would be a nice way to get in and give yourself a go. And these ones are also sold as nail brush air compressor kits or cake decorating. Maybe it belongs perhaps more in the kitchen and the beauty parlour than the workshop, but I'm quite impressed with it. It says, having turned it off, let's do a little bit of shading in there. So the coverage is pretty good. The flow of the stain is pretty good throughout. It's coping with my poorly maintained airbrushes. It's kind of infectious fun. can't help myself, can I? There you were, all thinking, oh, he's finished, it's the end of the video, it's over. I thought that as well, but I've forgotten how much fun I have playing. It's obviously been too long. It's a good play session. I'm rather enjoying myself. This is what I thought retired life would be like. Every day. Every day's a play day. So I'm sort of following along in the outside of, or the inside of some of these lines. I don't know if that's improving it or ruining it. Won't surprise you to hear me say I don't really mind. Either way. And I don't know if this fits with a comic remark made towards me that I vomit colour on wood. If I could vomit like this, now that would be a party trick. Yellow's quite a good colour to put on. It seems to warm things up. It has lost, I will say, it has lost that crispness of definition that it had before I went all crazy like this. Not sure the black's a good idea. But I've done it now. There we go, that's probably enough. I think I've put this little compressor through its paces quite enough for one day. As for the pattern, I quite like it actually. Quite like it. So I always say that when you're putting a bit of colour on, don't despair if it looks horrible. Once you've turned the middle and you get it up to a crisp wooden edge, it really does come to life a bit more. I think I've put this airbrush kit through its paces enough for today. It's ridiculously portable, extremely light, and I'll be taking it to Spain with me. No, it doesn't feel particularly warm either. So it works. 35 quid with an airbrush. What have you got to lose? 35 quid. Until next time, thanks for watching. Perfect new mug. If you try that again. Perfect new mug for the workshop. Keep the shavings out. And most of the tea in. Let's try again. Where have I been, you may ask yourselves?